This is the fourth annual ACEK Conference, and this year's theme is about engineering for the future, but with a keen interest in matters driving innovation as well as navigating the industry from 4.0 or 4.0 to 5.0. But what does it mean? So to take us through this conversation this afternoon, to just give us a quick summary of day one, where the chief guest was none other than Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi, who said that for Kenya to thrive when it comes to socio-economic development, there is need to really focus on matters of energy, identifying low-hanging fruits within smart cooking technologies, as well as looking as power generation. But how does power generation to transmission get to have the Kenyan imprint? President ACEK, Engineer Jane Mtilili. How do we get here?
Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, welcome to this session of our conference. We are here in Mombasa, White Sands Hotel, having our conference. Now, the conference theme is transition from 4.0, Industry 4.0 to 5.0. And in this, what we are talking about is moving more from the technology towards human-centric engineering. And that is what this conference is about. When I talk about technology, from 4.0, we were focusing on technology, but right now it's the intervention with human to the technology, so that we have more human-centric innovations than what we had before.
So earlier, the chief guest, that is Cabinet Secretary Energy Opiyo Wandayi, said that Kenya is really looking at leveraging the energy sector to unlock, job opportunities for local professionals. As a consulting engineer and the head of ACEK as president, how do you think this needs to be addressed and achieved?
First of all, innovation. The key word is innovation. We need to do a lot more innovation. We have the minds, we have the skills to do innovation, and the innovations that we are going to do, they have to be focused more on the sustainability. So our key word here is innovations and sustainability. And once we bring those two words together, and then we bring in technology, we are going to unlock. Energy is an enabling factor, and of course, with energy, then we are able to do industries, we are able to do factories, we are able to. Now, that innovation word, we are able to do that.
All right. Also, some of the stakeholders have raised, maybe we look at nuclear energy from where you sit, the feasibility of it, and looking into the future.
Nuclear energy is actually one of the cleanest energy. It has a lot of its own disadvantages, but it has a lot of advantages. And we're in the second stage now of feasibility within the nuclear space, and then after this, and then when we go to construction, because we've already been accepted. So nuclear energy is a phase that we are going to get into, but right now what we are talking about is actually clean energy, and Kenya, we already have 80% of our energy coming from the clean energy, so that we also need to focus on. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, engineers early in the morning session have decried the fact that we are not having inclusivity where local engineers are concerned, looking at opportunities, favoring foreign expertise. In June, we signed the Washington Accord. From where you sit as president, how then do we marry and how do we bridge this gap?
We must admit that, as I said, Kenya, we actually have 28 engineers registered with EBK in one category or the other. What we need is a skills gap, skills training on that, and we are working on that. The Washington Accord actually just recognizes Kenyans as we have the prerequisite training to be able, training that we can actually now go into the global market. Even as we go to the global market, we need our own skills. So this Washington Accord will afford us now those opportunities to work in other jurisdictions and to open up our minds. And once we open our minds, then we are able to work here, because there are some things that we are, as you're saying, even though we are not able to work here or to do some things here, because we may have that skills gap. That's why we have the foreigners. Right now, with the Washington Accord, we are able to open up, go to get the skills elsewhere, and then come back and work in our country. Yes, and practice here.
Public-private partnerships, and also looking at just generating or rather using these particular projects, especially in the affordable housing, has adversely been mentioned in the morning session. How then do we unlock this for local engineers? There are plans to do a policy review. What's your take on this?
Yes, I think that's a discussion that we've agreed we are going to continue with right now. Immediately after this conference, we have a meeting with the authorities, I think next week or the next week, but one towards that. But we've also had our African Development Bank. We've had the Vice President talking to us about how to actually leverage on the bank so that we can also get projects. We can get into the table where projects are being discussed. And once that is done, then we are able to unlock ourselves. You know, we seem to be in a kind of a silo. So once we get that, then we're able to unlock ourselves and get into where the big projects are being discussed. And that will now open up the engineering space for all of us, for the ones in school, for the ones who are practicing, and everybody will get something to do.
Women and the youth seemingly do not have the equal opportunities within the engineering profession. What is being done to address this? Because this has been a challenge for years now.
I have one of the youth leaders here.
Maybe he can quickly comment as we bring this to a close.
I think young engineers have an opportunity to work. For example, the Association of Consulting Engineers is giving us a chance to train and a chance to grow as professional engineers to become consulting engineers. So the youth should actually come up so that they can be trained and have the opportunity to occupy the space. And I also have to comment that no one is going to take you from your comfort zone. You must identify a mentor and work under a mentor to grow. Thank you.
Now, the question of there's been a proposal to have a sandbox that is going to help young engineers also now be active in this particular space. What is your take on this?
It's important to identify on how to bring young engineers to come up. So having a structured framework. I want to say that Madam President has been at the forefront of forming caucuses that is allowing young engineers to be structurally trained so that in different professions where they are, they can actually come up. And this one has taken shape, perhaps can be beefed up and be given a chance to become more better.
Right.
Thank you.
Very well said. Now that's just but a quick summary of what has been happening in day one of this particular 3-day conference, where stakeholders within the engineering fraternity from the private sector as well as government have converged now with a keen interest on moving from matters technology, but now having them infused with human eccentricity there, just moving to the new future of engineering. I'm Regina Manyara. We're live from Mombasa County. I hand you back to Broadcasting House.
Thank you very much, Ray.